Hello and welcome. It is Charlotte Jacobs and it's Thrive Thursday. Hey, if you want to discover how to get clients when you are speaking to groups, you are in the right place. Today we are going to be talking about how to get clients from speaking and specifically how to structure your content so that people will want to say yes to you. I'm so happy you're here. Let me know if you are here live with hashtag live, or how about with a hashtag replay if you are watching the replay. Now, if you have not already watched the video that we have posted just until tomorrow, Friday, and I believe it's 9 a.m. Pacific, I highly encourage you to watch that video now. That is, if you're looking to speak and get clients, if you're looking to get clients every time you speak, that is the video to watch. This is an excerpt from our Client Attraction Summit where we talk about our system for becoming a six-figure speaker. And today I'm going to actually go deep into one of the sections of that video. So if you haven't already watched that video, we'll have a little bit of a review, and then I'm going to go deep specifically into how to structure your content to get clients from it. So, if I can get my screen to work for me here. And let me pull this over here so I can see who are my friends who are commenting. All right, fantastic. Great. All right. Sometimes the software is just really, really screwy. I have to tell you that I'm looking forward to this new feature on Facebook Live. Have you seen it? Where we can actually go into a room. And I tried the new producer today, the new live producer today. That would have allowed us to go into a room so we could, you could stay on the line and ask questions. And I was super excited about it, but I couldn't get the new live producer to work. So, whatever. Ask questions in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. All right, so today we're talking about how to structure your content so that you will get clients from speaking. So good to see you here, Anna. And really, when we take a look at your content, this will be a review from the video that's up. There are three sections: your inspiring intro, your hot content, and your generous invitation. I'm going to focus specifically on your hot content today. And if you want to go back and look at the rest of those sections, I would watch the video that is up in the group. It's as an announcement, but we're going to specifically talk about how to structure content. Because some people overwhelm their group with content that is too much or too complicated. And other people underwhelm their group with content that is too little or too basic. Either way, you're not going to make the impact or the income that you might have hoped. So our goal is to create hot content that doesn't overwhelm people or underwhelm them, but it simply whelms them. And if it's done in the right way, it will lead to your ideal clients saying yes. And you want to create content that is so good that people say, oh my gosh, if I got this for free, what would I get if I worked with her, in a paid program or in a paid package? That's the way that we want them to think. So there are a few keys that can really help. So if you are already leading workshops, doing speaking events, doing live video, doing webinars, any kind of event where you are speaking to groups, do your people get so inspired by your content that they come up to you afterward and they're hungry to work with you? Let me know in the chat if you've got a yes for that. Like, yes, I get clients when I'm speaking. And if not, it could be that you haven't structured your content in the way that leads to a yes. Because it's one thing to go get a check to speak. You're getting paid for a keynote. That's awesome. You get the check, you do your talk, everybody's inspired, and that's the end of the deal. Right? It's another thing to speak where your intention is to get clients from speaking. And if you want to get clients from speaking, let me know in the chat with a, drop a GIF, like if you've got your favorite speaking GIF, just even let me know if you want to get clients from speaking. So I love this model of getting clients from speaking as opposed to getting a check to speak, because here, maybe you get a check for $1,500. Hey, maybe even $10,000, fine. But if you could speak to that same group, even for free, and you are allowed to make an offer, some kind of invitation for the next step, I would much rather have you be in that situation. And the reason being is that when you can do a consult with a potential client, you can sell a program, you can sell an online course, you're going to be in a lot better position in the long run than that one-time check. Make sense? So I really like the speak and get clients model. And you know, how you structure your content has a lot to do with how successful you will be. I mean, there's a lot to it. You've got to structure your intro correctly, you got to structure your content correctly, and you've got to structure the invitation correctly. We're going to focus mostly on content. So there are a couple different pieces that I want to talk about with content. Whenever you're teaching content, so I'm going to give you the cliff notes here. There are 3 different pieces that you want to have for each piece of content you teach. First, why is it important? Why should they listen to you? You'll often hear me introduce a piece of content saying the problem is if you don't have this, this could happen. Instead, we want this to happen. So we're covering the why it's important. We're creating context for what we're about to teach them. And then we need to teach them what it's called, like what's the name of it. So we've got why it's important, what it's called, and then we get into the how-to. Now, our how-to, when you are doing something that is designed to get a client, is not the end-all, be-all, step-by-step, A to Z, give away the farm how-to in an introductory talk. This has got to be a tip, a mistake, something to avoid, some piece of how-to. I personally, I will say this, that there are a lot of people who teach you how to speak and get clients that will say, don't give any how. Just share the why it's important and the what it's called. And then that in and of itself is going to lead to people wanting to work with you. Personally here at Thrive, I really like to lead with value. Jesse and I really like to lead with value. And so we want to make sure that we give some how-to. The reality is that if I've got a 6-day program, like 6 days of content, you know, that many hours, was that 6 hours a day, 18 hours per 3-day event. If I've got 36 hours of content to teach you how to speak and get clients, there's no way I can give you all of that in, you know, this might be a 15, 20-minute Facebook Live or a long talk the video that we posted. It's just not possible. Same with you. Whatever it is, your offer, your package, you can't give it all away. So you have to give away a nugget, some kind of a nugget that someone can use right away. But it's not so much that it's like, and it might even be a reminder, but it's something that will spark them in moving toward getting the result they want, like taking that next step. But we ideally also want it to move them closer to saying yes to working with you if it's structured correctly. So we've got our why it's important, our what it's called, and a little bit of how-to. And what I love about this model for teaching is that it actually works for the different ways that people think. So there are people who are out there who really need to know why something is important before they can even understand anything, before they can even hear what's next. There are other people that are like, just tell me what to do, tell me what it's called. Those people we need to speak to. And then there are the how-to people. Just tell me all the steps I need to take. We need to satisfy those people as well. And then our last piece is the next step. So we've got why it's important, what it's called, how to, and next step. And so some kind of a next step, some kind of an invitation for action for them. Now, when you're teaching your content, let's say you have a 60-minute talk and you're going to have 3 pieces of content you're going to teach as part of your workshop. You're going to want to do the why it's important, what it's called, how, a little tiny bit of how to, and the next step for each one of those 3 sections. So you can actually design your content in that way. And when we step back and we actually take a look at the meta view of your outline of your workshop, you know, we've got our introduction, we've got your content, and we've got your offer. Ideally, those 3 pieces of content that you teach will be the big building blocks of the next thing that you're going to offer. Make sense? So if, let me just say, for example, in our Client Attraction Mastery program, if I was going to do an introductory talk on that, I would talk about the 3, like the signature system that we teach in Client Attraction Mastery, which is to get your code, to get consults, and to get clients. And I would give some content inside each of those 3 pieces. And that way people would get value, they'd get some great next steps for what they can do. But obviously, if I've got an hour and I'm providing content that the full, like the whole enchilada is 36 hours of content, it's like I'm basically giving the big building blocks so someone can understand the big picture of what they would learn. Like, we have to understand the structure of what we're going to learn before we can actually start to go deep. So it really is like, it is an introduction to what that next invitation is. By the way, if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know in the chat. I would love to hear. And hey, my friend Molly Mahoney, who I actually posted a video with her a couple of weeks ago, she does this really fun thing on her lives where she says, just you can do a hashtag nugget. And if you do a hashtag nugget and you let me know of like one of your takeaways, like what's a nugget you're walking away with, I would love to see that. So we've got this piece of like, how do we structure our content? You know, the content section. If we could have intro, content, and next step, invitation / offer. We're going to make sure each of our sections has the why it's important, what it's called, how to, without giving away the farm, and a next step. And there's another piece around this that you might be surprised about, like when we really want to get sophisticated about how to structure your content so it's more likely to have a client say yes. This might surprise you. But this is that if you can consider what are the blocks that someone would have to both moving forward with you and moving forward to get the result in their life or business that you help. What are the blocks that would have them not move forward with both of those things? And you can actually like have them have a breakthrough in those blocks during your content. That is going to be the very best thing that you can do to be more likely to get clients. It's a more of a sophisticated concept to get, but I have an example for you. So many of you who are watching have been to our Client Attraction Summit. It's the thing that I offer when I go and work with a partnership organization. It's it's a lot of partners mail for it. A lot of organizations, coaching schools, holistic schools, and that sort. They send emails about the Client Attraction Summit, inviting people to attend. And when people go to clientattractionsummit.com and to learn more about the scholarship, there's a video series on the that in case they don't sign up right away, that continues to invite them, gives them value, but continues to invite them to the event. And one of the biggest blocks that someone might have to moving forward with us would be money, right? Obviously enough. That's going to be a block that your potential clients will have too. So if we can actually address that money concern in our content, if you can do that, I've got heaps going on here. I think I'm getting private messages while I'm talking. So if you can actually in your content, that money concern specifically, that money block, then you're going to have a lot more people say yes to the next step. So how do we do this in that video series? Well, in that video series, one of the videos talks about how you can earn $10,000 a month working 3 days each week. And I lay out how they could see 6 clients a day, 3 days a week, and earn $10,000 a month. And I just lay shows them that if they were to get the skills that we teach at the Client Attraction Summit, that they would be able to earn that kind of money. And so even I don't have the tuition to go, or I'm not sure if I should invest my money in that way, it gives them, it switches their belief. So moving toward getting some skills that they want, and they're moving toward working with us. So you're seeing how this works? And how is this a breakthrough in their life? Well, the way, and let me just say this, that this can be done in a way that occurs as really manipulative, and that is so against what we are here at, what we're about here at Thrive. Just as a little side note, there was a content agency. They were writing the first draft of our articles, taking our scripts and writing our articles. And I ended up canceling with them, because after months and months and months of me saying, you are not getting our voice, you are not understanding, like they just didn't get our heart. They would use words like persuasion in the title, and I'm like, I've never used the word persuasion. I don't use the word influence. It's not in our vocabulary. You know, they would use objections and closing sales, and we just don't do that here at Thrive. We have different language and a different consciousness around all of that. And so so it just was really, really frustrating around that. And that is because that is the mindset of most business coaches that are out there, is that they're going to teach you to close sales, they're going to teach you to manipulate, they're going to teach you to persuade and to influence. And while it is true that you can persuade and influence, for us, it's really about support, alignment with them. And I hope that that's the way that you view your potential clients, that you're there to support them to move forward with what's aligned for them. And sometimes and support them to have what they want. The primary intention is to have them have what they want. And if what we have to offer is in alignment with getting them where they want, and we have a match, then we have that conversation. So, so how do you do this in a way that it's not manipulative? Well, you make sure that your intention also moves them forward a couple of steps. So even if somebody doesn't decide to say yes to the summit in that instance I just shared with you about teaching them, laying out what it could look like to work 3 days a week, 6 hours, 6 sessions a day, and make $10,000 a month. Just the fact that they know that that's possible, and they know what they would have to charge and how many clients they would have to get, that moves them forward in their life. And so I'm always looking for both of those intentions, that it's, the idea is, how do I help them remove a block, some kind of obstacle that's in the way of them getting what they want in their life? Like, can I help them move a step closer? And if it's a good match, can we move closer to talking about working together? So if you can do those things simultaneously, and we have templates obviously for how we do this in our 6-figure speaker program. If we can do those things simultaneously, you're going to find you're going to get better results from every single time you talk to a group. Whether it's on video, whether it's a small local speaking gig of 10 people, or it's an event where you're speaking in front of thousands. You have got to structure your content in a way that has people have some kind of breakthrough, have some kind of movement toward what they want in their life, moving through blocks, if it's a good match. So I'm curious, I would love to know what your biggest takeaway is. And hey, if you would like to speak and get clients, we're doing something very special right now, and it's really only for a few days. This next couple of weeks is all about speaking to get clients, and that is because we have our 6-figure speaker program starting really, really soon. And so, hey, if you're interested in learning how to speak and get clients, we have a limited number of speak and get client strategy sessions right now. What we want to do on these speak and get client strategy sessions is understand your goals as a speaker. How do you want to become a 6-figure speaker? How do you want to use speaking in your business? How do you want to speak to groups and get clients? And we're going to take a look at what is missing right now. Like, what are the skills that are missing? We're going to give you some valuable tips to help you move forward that are specifically designed for you. And if it's a good match for you to consider working with us in our 6-figure speaker program, we will invite you to do so. So hey, if you are interested in learning how to speak and get clients, just drop the word speak for me. Get in touch in the chats, and we will talk about next step. We've got a little application process for the strategy sessions. I wanted to do a big event on Tuesday, and our enrollment team was they were all booked up. It was too last minute. We had some scheduling issues. Plus, I was actually in Nevada. My stepmother passed about 6 weeks ago, and so I was there for her memorial service, and I was supporting my dad, and it just was like too much chaos to try to pull it together. So 3-hour event, but instead we decided to put up this video, and so we really have just a very limited number of spots for the Speak and Get Client strategy session. So really, if you feel like you're serious about speaking, you are serious about getting clients every time you speak, you want to be earning $10,000 a month plus just from your speaking just from speaking and getting clients, we would love to support you. So go ahead and drop the word speak, and I'll look forward to talking with you soon. And hey, if you have any questions about anything I shared today, let me know in the chat, or go ahead and send me a DM, because I love talking with you. All right, until next time, this is Charlotte Jacobs signing off. Remember, your people are waiting for you, and I would love to see you get clients every single time you speak to a group. Lots of love. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.